let's shift our focus back to NWSL for a second ahead of our break here, Lisa. There is a midweek match that is taking place. We've got Houston Dash versus New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. This one kicking off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time in Houston. You can catch all the action on CBS Sports Network. Lisa, quick turnaround for these two teams. Who are you looking at? Do you have a winner? Do you have a loser? Do you have a draw? Tell me what you see out of this one.
Incredibly quick turnaround. Houston played on Friday. That was the 0-0 draw against Racing Louisville, while Racing went down a player in the 44th minute, 43rd minute. And Houston really dominated the first half. Meanwhile, Gotham, even quicker turnaround. They played Sunday to a 4-1 loss to OL Reign. That was at Lumen Field, and now Gotham traveling to Houston. So I imagine they went straight from Seattle to Houston, that's a lot. It's a lot of travel. Those are heavy legs after a 90-minute 4-1 loss to OL Reign. And now they've got to go to the heat and humidity in Houston and play against a Dash team that's frankly on a bit of a run right now. Number 2 in the standings. They've won 3 of their last 5. They're 4 games unbeaten at this point. Houston, I have Houston winning this match, but there's so many different factors and reasonings that come into it. I think Houston is a team right now that we're seeing is growing from game to game and learning so much about what they've been able to do. And when you look at a coach like Juan Carlos Amorosos, is a coach that teaches his players kind of what happens. And when you look just at the last game that Houston played against Racing Louisville, they dominated their first 45 minutes. Probably could have had 2 goals. They did so many things well. When you look at a player like Ebony Salmon and how she's been on such a tear, scoring 6 goals already for Houston since arriving in the beginning of July to this club, they understand what needs to happen. The fact that they didn't close out the game against Racing Louisville probably frustrates Houston at this point. And now going into a game against Gotham, Houston is a team that's going to want to score goals, want to get points, want to rack up their goal differential. Because right now their goal differential is 9. And if I'm Houston, I'm saying, let's get 3. Let's get 4. We've done it before. We've done it consistently before, this Houston side coming off of a 4-2 win over Gotham just at the end of July. So now they're at home. They've got the upper hand. They're coming off of a tie that they want to do. I give this one to Houston. But Sandra, when you look at Gotham, they've got the new coach coming in there, Hugh Menzies. Do you expect any changes from the Gotham side?
I don't anticipate maybe there'll be change. I would like to see Taylor Smith get a start.
Get a goal.
And see a 90-minute game from her with Gotham. And they did score a goal. It was another loss for this team, their 4th consecutive, but they scored a goal. And it came from Taylor Smith. But there's apprehensions I have in giving this to Houston, because my gut is like, yeah, go with Houston. They've got great pieces. They've been putting together really good performances. And Gotham is a team down on their luck. And when you are a team that is riding the momentum and sitting very happily in the upper half of the table, there's no disrespect in looking at your opposition saying, like, we need to go out there and get these 3 points. But it's the midweek matchup of it all for me, Lisa. These midweek games are such a clog sometimes. I don't know what we're going to see really from these two teams. Are we going to see a little bit of a physical matchup perhaps? Is Gotham going to try to supplement, being able to sort of break up or sustain that attack by maybe getting a little bit more physical, trying to play it a little bit more closely? I don't know. We'll see. There's a mixed bag here, because I think we've yet to see sort of what Hugh Menzies' impact could actually be on this Gotham side. That was the one game, the first game that he got introduced in. So maybe the second game will look and feel different. But I don't know if the results are going to come that quickly, especially and a quick turnaround in a midweek match. So despite me feeling like the midweek match is always kind of a toss-up, those can sometimes end in a lot of draws, I'm still going to be going with Houston in this one. quite frankly,
if they the runaround there, I wasn't sure.
Quite frankly, if they go out here and they don't pick up the dub against Gotham, I think they're going to be disappointed in themselves. So I'm hopeful that Houston will go out here and pick up all 3 points against Gotham, perhaps make that 1 and 2 seeding even more interesting in the upper half of the table, because they've got a long week in them, right? So they've got this Wednesday game, and then there's games to look at ahead into the weekend. So maybe they want to secure these 3 points, and get the job done on a Wednesday versus later on in a Saturday, because then that'll be another quick turnaround when they've got games this weekend as well. So we're both going Houston, and this one we'll have to come on back and see if we're correct